today experiments to show that the action and reaction forces acting on two different objects, and one more experiment that to show Newton's third law of motion. Presented by D. Venkatnarayana, SA, Physical Science. So, aim of the first activity, testing the action and reaction forces acting on two different objects. From this activity, we observe that if the air pressure goes in the one direction, the bottle moves in the opposite direction. Here we observe that if an action acts on one object, then every action acts on another object. Now observe the video. So here you will notice that the children fill the bottle with air with the bicycle pump. So here observe carefully what are you going this activity. So the students are filling the air in the empty water bottle. So here you will notice that the bottle is moving in the opposite direction of as the air is going out of the bottle. Now observe this activity with carefully. You can observe here. Here you will observe students hitting the ground in one direction, but immediately after the hitting the ground, the ball will move in the which direction? Opposite direction. Here working action one direction, reaction is opposite direction. Both are equal. So one more activity here. What are they doing here? We observe that if the air pressure goes in the one direction of the bottle moves in the opposite direction. Here we observe that in an action acts on the one object, then every action acts on another object. We observe that if the air pressure goes in the one direction, the bottle moves in the opposite direction. Here we observe that if an action acts on one object, then every action acts on another object. So finally we say that action force and reaction force act equally in opposite direction. So now we can demonstrate the Newton's third law of motion. So it is a conduct today now one of the lab activity. So from this lab activity, aim of the lab activity to show that action and reaction of forces act in two different objects, and to show Newton's third law of motions with two different objects. So required materials are test tube, rubber cork, spirit lamp, test tube stand, water, matchbox and thread. These are required material to conduct this lab activity. So description of this activity. For every action force, there should be equal and opposite reaction force. The formula is F action is equal minus reaction. So precautions while conduct this activity. The precautions of this activity: do not fix the rubber cork tightly. This will be result in high pressure build up and would be cause the test tube to blow up. And one more condition here, do not fix the rubber cork loosely. This results in loss of stream and rubber cork will not push out. Working with spirit lamp is dangerous and working with caution is required. So tie the thread tightly, otherwise the test tube may not move freely. So the procedure of the sketch of the experiment. Now we have to learn what is the procedure of the experiment. Procedure of the experiment. Take a borosilicate test tube and put a small amount of water in it. Place a rubber cork cap at test tube mouth to close it. Now suspend the test tube horizontally with the help of two threads as shown in the diagram. So place the spirit lamp at location close to the bottom of the test tube to obtain maximum water heating, and observe the motion of the rubber cork and the test tubes as the rubber cork gets blow off from the test tubes. So observe the video. First light the spirit lamp, and lighted spirit lamp should be carefully placed at the bottom of the test tube, and observe what are the changes in the test tube should be observed carefully. Watch video carefully. What are you going there? So after some times, now you have noticed that the water in the test tube is heating up and bubbles are coming out. Observe carefully what are you going there. So bubbles formation can be observed while heating the water. Watch video carefully. What are you going there? And the direction of movement of the test tube is in opposite direction of the rubber cork. Watch video carefully. What are you going there? So here after some time the direction of movement of the test tube is in opposite direction of rubber cork. Now here action is escaping rubber cork from the test tube. Reaction is movement of the test tube in opposite direction of rubber cork. So conclusion after the activity, according to Newton's third law, for two interaction bodies, action and reaction occurs in the pairs. The direction of action and reaction are opposite to each other and are of equal magnitudes. If we consider the direction of rubber cork as the direction of action, the direction of movement of the test tube is opposite to that of actions. So prove that the action and reaction forces acting on two different bodies. Thank you. My sincere thanks to Tech Mahindra Foundation, Sahayata Trust, Science Academy Hyderabad and Samagra Shiksha